Hey, good evening, Facebook family. Man, it's been a few days since I got to do a video update, and now that I have some Wi-Fi and the kids are at the pool, because we're at a KOA in a small town called Fillmore, Utah, I have some time now and I can actually upload the videos. So just a quick update of where we've been. I think I can't remember the last time I did an update, but I know over the past week we've been in Utah. We came up from the Grand Canyon. There we boondocked. So it was probably before then. And boondocking, if you don't know what that is, means that you park the RV on a piece of property and you have no facilities. So basically you live off what's in the RV, and it's you have to kind of conserve your resources a little bit. You can't fill up the tanks. You got to have enough water, you know. Electricity is generator only, and usually at night you don't run the generator because there could be people around. In our case, there were not at the Grand Canyon, but it was a great spot because it was right outside the park. So basically over the past week we've taken some time to just kind of see the national parks here, spend some time together as a family, and you know, show the kids some of the cool things about the national parks in this area. But ultimately, you know, the goal being going to meet people, we kind of had to let God lead, you know, who we were going to meet. And we did, believe it or not. Every place we were still able to hand out Christ-like literature and meet people and talk about our ministry. You know, we left the Grand Canyon after a couple of days. There's only so much of a big giant hole you can look at, even though it's amazing. If you haven't seen it, you gotta go. But we left from there and we drove basically east from the Grand Canyon, which is beautiful, Highway 64, and then you start heading north into Utah, which, if you've never been to Utah, it's probably mine and Stacy's favorite state as far as just looking at God's creation. It's just remarkable, the whole state, top to bottom, left to right, an amazing place, just grand. And so we went up to Monticello, Utah, and it's a small town at the base of a mountain, but it's the first time you start seeing snow-capped mountains and things like that. But it is a higher elevation, over 7,000 feet, and kind of hung out there for a couple of days and did some riding up in the mountains and just kind of looked at the sights, and really not a lot there, but other than just driving around and looking at the beauty. And then from there we went over to Moab, and you may have never heard of Moab, or you may have, but Moab is the site of Canyonlands National Park and the Arches National Park, which everybody's seen a picture of the big giant orange arches. Well, that's that. It's beautiful. Staying in Moab is kind of cool because it's kind of like Daytona, Florida for ATVs and Jeeps. So a lot of craziness there, but everybody shows up with big Jeeps and off-road vehicles, and they just, you know, out to the countryside. It's really cool. And we did. We used the Wings of Grace Jeep and gently took it on the sights. We gave Sky, is what Sophie named the blue Jeep. We gave Sky her initiation into Jeep lore, and she has been Moabbed now. We did the Shaffer Trail. Shaffer Trail is pretty amazing. It's a 2.5-hour ride out through the canyon in Canyonlands National Park. It's beautiful, towering canyons. Potash Road ends at the Thelma and Louise point. If you remember that movie where they drove the car off into the Grand Canyon, well, it was actually Canyonlands, not Grand Canyon. But they drove it out, and then it's really cool, and it's a beautiful site. Took a lot of pictures, and then we continued on. Well, shortly after that, it becomes the Shaffer Trail. The Shaffer Trail is an old mining trail, but what's interesting about it is that it seemingly ends at the canyon wall, but it is switchbacked back and forth 1,500 feet to the top of the canyon, and it is unbelievably scary to drive that, because it's well maintained. It's not like an off-roading, it's a dirt road, but they've maintained it, but there's only room enough for one car, and traffic runs both ways. So what's crazy about it is there are some points on that trail where if you were to open your door, it's 1,000 feet straight to the bottom of the canyon. So if you've seen the Grand Canyon, if you could imagine driving up the wall of the canyon on a switchback, that's what it's like. So pretty amazing. I think I posted a picture of it, but we left there and continued on. Now we're heading west again. We left Moab today and we're headed west, and we're in Fillmore, Utah, which is beautiful. We're gonna head out through the Sacramento Pass here over the next few days, which is the Great Basin and Great Basin National Park, and then we'll be into California once we get to Tahoe, and we'll start meeting some people again. But what's cool about it is we can put the QR code on the side of the RV, and we've actually seen an increase in followers to the Christ Flight page, and we've actually had people come up and talk to us about it. And Stacy is pretty amazing because oh man, that's really cool. There's a guy in an ultralight about to fly over my head. Gotta love that, man. It's a great day for that. As a pilot, I look at that and I'm like, you're nuts, but nevertheless, pretty cool. As long as he doesn't crash, I got to run out there in the field. But anyway, lots of people talking to us and asking us about the ministry. And Stacy's pretty amazing. She takes out the this guy's like really gonna crash right here. It's pretty crazy. Anyway, there he goes. I guess he's gonna land or do something, who knows. But yeah, she hands out stuff everywhere. It's pretty cool. Anybody who talks to us, she's giving out a prayer card. I guess that's what you need. I'm not that good at it. So anyway, we did have some brake issues today as we got here. The RV was not performing the way it should, and now we're going to spend an extra day in Fillmore, and I get the brakes worked on, which is great. And then just fascinated watching this guy fly this thing. I want to go flying. I'm dying. It's about time to get back in the cockpit. So anyway, that's really cool. So after that, we're just gonna head out to the Sacramento Pass into California. So that's pretty fun, right? So anyway, love all you guys, and thanks for following. And I'll post this up on Facebook and on YouTube. So don't forget to subscribe, and we'll talk to you in the next trip.